You want to build something that is a real problem, like a pain you actually experienced. And then you can actually say, this did take me an hour every day, and now it takes me 10 to 15 minutes.
That's Hansen, Chief Growth Officer at Market Search, who's built marketing systems for Fortune 500 companies and early-stage startups. And he says that most founders don't need more leads. They need better systems for the ones they're already getting. Stay with this one, because by the end, you know exactly what to automate first in your business, how to start building a client-getting system on a lean budget, and one marketing mistake that's quietly slowing your growth. So what was the moment that you realized that founders don't need more leads, they need better systems?
I think what I realized too was in my own work in helping my wife's business as she was advertising and growing, we were excited at first that we spend more, we can get more leads, but we noticed that over time, the additional spending were yielding lower quality leads. We realized that we needed to make a change and think about the strategy rather than just throw dollars and resources at the ads and figure out how do we get very qualified, high quality leads into our system on a regular basis.
You've worked with Fortune 500 brands and startups. What's the biggest marketing mistake that founders consistently make?
The biggest mistake, I think, is that they assume that a single channel is the only way to grow. So maybe they've experienced a little bit of success with word of mouth advertising, or they've had a little success with conferences. There's a single email or a sale, but really you do have to diversify your marketing outreach because most marketing successes are temporary to some degree. You have an offer that's a discount. It's very easy for a competitor to copy that. And so you have to continually innovate. And some channels are going to be successful for a while. You might bring on a new client that immediately wants to refer 12 friends. It's not that that will last forever. That's a great approach, but that wasn't necessarily sustainable or really a system that can be continually run. So you have to continually innovate and have a lot of different channels for new leads to come into you.
Definitely. So a very multi-channel strategy, better than one. But also multi-channel means that you have to be very well-versed in all of these different platforms which have different algorithms. How do you stay on top of that?
You have to use some automated systems. A lot of businesses attempt to use free tools, which is fine for a while. Try to keep their leads organized on Google Sheets, or they try to keep notes or tasks managed within their email. But what you really need is a CRM system. And there are CRM systems that are quite inexpensive. If you want to grow after about your first year, you're going to need a CRM system that tracks communications and allows you to automate repeatable conversations, reminders for meetings, long-term drip campaigns. How do you respond to people that come into the website very quickly? These are all important functions of a CRM. And to be able to map out a sales process and know where your funnel stands at any given time.
So putting in that effort to document processes is very important to scale over time. So when a founder tells you that they need more leads, how do you reframe that conversation?
So I really want to understand the current environment, how they've grown in the past. Very important data point to know what's working or maybe what worked at one point. I'd like to evaluate. I'd like to read all the reviews, good and bad, that a company has. There's a lot of good information in that. Sometimes it's extreme. There's people that are in love with the product and people that are determined to leave a 1-star review and complain very loudly. But those reviews themselves can be an indicator of what the customers are saying that the founder may not realize, or sometimes the founder doesn't realize what everybody likes about their tool. And so we read through all of those together. We make sure that existing happy clients are getting reminders to leave reviews so we can increase that number. It's a good marketing strategy overall, but there's valuable data. We start there, and that can turn into a future offer, future ad campaigns, or email or text outreach campaigns. There's just a lot of value hidden in those public reviews.
Definitely. I think there's nothing better than using the customer's words for your marketing.
And those can be It's used in a variety of ways. They can be quoted in text. You can capture them in images. And I think we agree on that. That's extremely valuable and maybe underemphasized. Outside of retail or restaurants, I think a lot of businesses don't really embrace that as they should.
So for a non-technical founder, what part of their marketing should be automated first and why?
I think the first thing to automate is automatic immediate responses to inbound leads. It doesn't have to be specific, but speed to response is really important when people have a lot of options. They'll Google for a service that they're looking for, and almost immediately they'll reach out to 3 companies. And often the one that responds most quickly, whether or not it is the best product, will take first place in the initial decision-making process. And so you can automate when people send you texts or complete forms on your website, and you can automate even simple responses. Say, I would love to hear more about what you're looking for. I will follow up. Or you send a calendar booking link for a consult, and that all of a sudden you feel like you're engaged and you feel like you've been heard as a potential client.
So you talk a lot about building growth machines. What does a growth machine look like under the hood?
So it's usually a stack of tech tools. I think a CRM is critical, and it's not even as important which brand of CRM that you use, but that you have a database that has some automation attached to it and organization of sales tasks. So that's at the heart of it. And then in addition, you will have technologies that connect to your social media, that connect to your website forms, that help you build landing pages. A lot of CRMs have the ability to send out emails directly and send out texts directly, record inbound calls, and handle even web chats on your website. To capture all of those is really critical. And then you'll need a workflow builder. So that could be inside the CRM. It could be through make.com or Zapier. And those combined, you can take data that comes in, whether it's your booking software, your website, forms, and we can make sure that they get the communications quickly that are relevant to their decision-making process. And then on top of that, as you evolve, AI can be involved. So it can be integrated through your CRM or through Make and Zapier to handle customer support questions or frequently asked questions that come up with new clients. And that you can even have full conversations with these AI agents. So very exciting times, and the AI tools get better and better. I'll also throw out too, I didn't mention, but connecting to your ads and making sure that the people that respond or interact with your ads are getting quick responses relevant to their needs.
Definitely. So making sure it's all linked and interconnected with all your marketing campaigns as well.
Absolutely.
So founders today often feel overwhelmed by AI. What's the simplest way they can use AI the right way in marketing?
Yeah, I think the first step you should do is you use it for your social media post creation. It doesn't have to be every social media post that you do, but your business pages do need to be, I'd say at least weekly, you'll need to post on the main business platforms. That's probably your Facebook business page, LinkedIn business page, and Google business page, and maybe some others. But if you are posting every week, that could be a lot of work to think of content, but you can interact with the chat-based AI engines to help you think of ideas based on your industry and unique characteristics of the business. And then it helps you generate the posts themselves in a high quality way that embeds keywords and key topics, even maybe helps you create images. This is critical for keeping your business top of mind. That's the easiest way. Some of the advanced tools are chat agents that talk to new clients, voice or chat AI, but that would be step 3 or 4. But building content for your business pages is a good first step.
So what's one place in a founder's marketing workflow where AI creates leverage?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the initial conversation, I really think that having initial contact with a voice AI agent is completely acceptable, and people will be receptive to talking to a bot or texting with a bot. I think that is very risk-free, provided that bot has information about your business that's accurate.
What does predictable inbound look, and how do founders do it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. This is where you need to look at the multiple channels for getting in and keeping them healthy and making it very easy for leads to come inbound. So you need to have a website that's very descriptive of what you do, great offers, and a lot of incentives for people to reach out to you, whether that's competitive pricing or a great description of a very specific solution. If your website accurately describes what you do, people that come to your website will want to communicate with you. Google engines and SEO, and then GEO, the AI search, they will really like your site, cite it, promote it, and you'll find that you'll get increased leads. It does come down to having a very clear, concise offer, having answers to the questions that people are asking, having everything technically sound on your website. So SEO, the fundamentals of that, and some of a few of the quirks of, or those are really going to pay off to get a sustainable inbound lead flow.
Definitely. So always make sure that you have those key customer questions updated on your website and have that optimized as well.
Absolutely.
So most founders either over automate or under automate. How do you find the balance between what is human and what is AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is a struggle because there's still a tremendous value in one-on-one communications, in face-to-face communications. And so I would caveat a lot of what I'm saying with, you need to augment this with your face on video, your voice without AI in written content on a very regular basis. I create videos where I'm talking to the screen with my thoughts, and I also write blogs. So I make content a high priority, and I alternate in AI generated content for volume, but you cannot go 100% Palt API, the AI level of perfection. You have to have, as you hear me talking, my stutters, my ums and uhs. I think that's still valuable and engaging for people that are looking for your business.
Yeah, so having that balance between AI content and that personal branding that you can't replicate. You could put yourself as an AI and have that speak for you, but it depends on how you want to engage with your audience.
And I think AI content, if you listen to a lot of it or read a lot of it, you can pick up on some things that sound very similar and unoriginal. So when you put yourself out there, inevitably you're going to sound more unique, more different. Not always better, not always more polished, but at least memorable.
So if you were starting a business from scratch with 0 to 10K, how would you use AI and automations to create customers fast?
I would definitely subscribe to ChatGPT, and I would build custom agents that help talk to me through the strategy. I am actually a big fan of using these coding tools, the AI-powered coding tools like Cursor, and you can build apps very quickly. So I would look for something very specific in a niche I knew very well. So if I, in the past, worked in a certain industry, I would think very deeply about what was a boring task or a frequent task that required a lot of manual steps. And I would just use between ChatGPT, Cursor, I would build something connecting multiple tools that got information from one place to another, and then I would sell it as a service. And honestly, I think you could have a business doing something like that with AI giving you feedback and Cursor helping you design and build this. I think you could do this for under $1,000 and in under a month. I completely believe that these tools have really accelerated our ability to build businesses.
Definitely. So it's about having that kind of insider knowledge of industry you're in and using AI to build.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you don't want to build something that you think will work. You want to build something that is a real problem, like a pain you actually experienced. And then you can actually say, this did take me an hour every day, and now it takes me 10 to 15 minutes. You'll be so happy with these results because I felt it too.
I think this is a great note to finish the podcast on. Thank you so much, Reed, for coming on the pod and sharing all of your insights.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, Panida. This is a great topic. I think you're right in line with what small and medium businesses need to know.
If you want the full breakdown, it's on techforfounder.com.